Explaining the origins of Christmas traditions. Day 5, Gift Giving. Now, I'm not gonna pretend that gift giving originated from Christmas. It's a practice as old as humanity itself and not inherently tied to any one day. But why do we do it on Christmas? It's Epiphany. It's Epiphany. Yes, the feast day of the Epiphany, celebrated on January 6th, started by Eastern Christians, many of which later became the Orthodox as we know them today, to commemorate the day that the three magi, or wise men, found Jesus after following the star that appeared above his birthplace, and gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Little fun fact, this is the same day that king cake came from. Comment down below if you know what king cake is. Anyways, a tradition was started where on that day, people were encouraged to give gifts to each other just like the Magi did to Jesus. I'd like to mention that a similar thing also happened in Rome before the birth of Christ, where during the Saturnalia festival on the winter solstice, the festival celebrating the god of the harvest, people would also give gifts to each other. Many bring this up as another Christmas tradition that actually had pagan roots and were just rebranded by the church. But I don't think that's actually the case. Now you're gonna have to hear me out for a second. This is probably the biggest TED talking that this mini-series is gonna see. Firstly, the tradition of giving gifts in the Christian context was started in the East, not in Rome where it was already done. Second, the earliest record of the Feast of the Epiphany was in 200 AD, before any major Christianization of Western Europe. Third, unlike Christmas itself, historical records suggest that the original Epiphany actually happened around the same time that the feast day is today, so it's unlikely it was ever moved to coincide anything else like Christmas was. More on that in a future video. Last, the gift giving during Saturnalia, on a day called Sigillira, was done in far different spirit. The Christmas tradition derived from Epiphany is about generosity and giving meaningful gifts. Sigillira was about giving humble gifts such as candles or even humorous gag gifts. So I think this overall is more of a coincidence or convergent thinking rather than just rebranding. Nowadays, even in a secular context, gift giving is still done frequently as a sign of generosity and goodwill to those close to you. But unfortunately, a lot of people these days believe they're obligated to give gifts to others rather than doing it from the kindness of their heart, whether it be pressure from themselves, from tradition, or from the relentless advertising from this time of year. And it becomes a source of stress, which is sad. Christmas should be a time of joy. So I want you guys to remember that there's no shame in being unable to give, and if people have a problem with that, then they didn't deserve them in the first place.